All right, let's look at the video a little bit, okay?
I is pleased because you're worshiping.
Okay, no previews. Now they play some music, interestingly, which is very haram.
In a grocery store, you see an Asian guy.
Oh! Welcome to Saudi. It's called offensive driving, baby.
It's called, it's called bumpy ride. We ain't got generational wealth.
So they play some music, which is very haram, because this is a halal channel. I can't play those parts. But so apparently, what they're doing here is that they took a trip to Saudi Arabia, and Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem is in Saudi Arabia, and they decided to go and visit him, to pay him a little visit, and also ask him questions. So you can see here people with dresses walking around everywhere, and walking through the wonderful streets where you can't see women, and therefore women are protected because you can't see them anyway. So they're walking through the streets and eventually meet up with Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem, and they sit down with him and they start talking about the most important things in the world. Now there were some sections here that I actually found very, very interesting. Let us look at some of those.
It's a beautiful religion. Okay. The truth. What is it? The truth. It's the truth. So if you have two choices on the table. Either to break a prayer or to continue.
Yeah.
Logical?
I'll give you two good options.
Two good options. If not,
You're worshipping him. It boils down to two things. Either you obey Allah or obey Shaitan. Now you tell me. Watching anime. You tell me.
Sneagle loves anime too, man.
I don't care.
So this is what they're doing. They're talking about anime. This is very, very informative, very good
It's
stuff.
not
what is your
what
favorite
people
anime?
say. It's not what my followers dictate that I should do. A lot of my followers would like to see me in a boxing match with this, what's his name? The one who fought?
Khabib?
No, who fought Tyson.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, see, they all want to see him in a boxing match.
Yeah, you do a bang-up job, Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem.
Why does he have a tea towel on his head? This is not a tea towel. This is a picnic thing. Which
It's a picnic.
picnic towel. So please have some respect.
So, you sweat and you like a pig, and then get a shower, and then the crowd is on the house, but then
Busy day. We just flew 24 hours and we had a jam-packed day. And we were all tired downstairs and we were wide awake.
tired.
You're all sleeping in the car.
Ah, well,
Now they're wide awake.
Yeah, we missed that first flight. One of our brothers over here got held over the airport because he was wearing an unfriendly sweater. What was the sweater?
That's not.
Look, okay, I remember this part. So I was watching the whole thing from beginning to end. Here they bring up something, which is they travel to Saudi Arabia, and one of those guys, as they land there, is actually held up at the airport because he was wearing a shirt. And they're going to reveal now what kind of shirt he was wearing. Pay attention. This is in Saudi Arabia. These people are smart, very, very smart people who wear like shirts with messages and all of that in the West, where you can say and do whatever you want. Then they go with those shirts to Saudi Arabia, and they are held at the airport and sent back. And now hear what the T-shirt actually said.
True.
I don't think it's the sweater was a part of it.
No, it was a giant part of it. He was getting eyes everywhere.
He's wearing a sweater that says the White House is Israeli owned, or what is it?
Israeli occupied territory.
yeah, anything that is political,
Yeah.
motivated, it's not welcome.
Here we don't.
Hey, pause. Isn't that interesting, man? Right? Like. Every Western country, you can sit around complaining, moaning, and wailing about Jews in Israel all day long. You go to Saudi Arabia and say something about Israel, like get that political nonsense out of here, man.
Yeah.
Get that out of here.
Yeah.
We're not interested.
So
Get that stuff somewhere else.
This guy hangs out in America, hangs out in the Western countries, and so on. Has a shirt that says that calls the White House Zionist occupied territory. Right. Perfect messaging, of course, for these people. Basically, Jews control us. The Jews are controlling us. And they go with that to Saudi Arabia, thinking, yeah, we're going to impress Saudi Arabia. We're going to impress the Saudis with that. They land, and Saudi Arabia is like, you can't come in here with that shirt on.
Hey, dude, hold up. Dude, this is a very easy, quick video for you. Sneeko finds out Saudi Arabia is controlled by Jews. Right? It's like, wait. You complain about Jews all day in the United States, all day long. So how are we controlled by? But you can't complain about them in Saudi Arabia. They tell you to get out. So who's really controlled by Israel? Saudi Arabia is.
Yeah. There's also a very, very funny part where he makes a comment about the Houthis, where Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem makes a comment about the Houthis, because Saudi Arabia has a big hostilities with Shia groups, including the Houthis. So they really don't like the Houthis.
No, they've been. I mean, there's been a war. It's been a war in Yemen for a long time. Saudi Arabia is against them.
Yeah. There's been a war. They've been bombing the Houthis and so on. So,
and over here, Houthis are heroes of the anti-Israeli side
because people are retarded.
You have to be aware of the environment you're sending a message. So I wouldn't go to America and say Trump sucks or Elon Musk is the president.
Tell us to Sneeko. He's a very political man, and he loves like being uncensored.
Again, as a Muslim, what is your intention? Is it to, and I know this is coming like, you're not my father, don't judge me. What? I'm a Saudi, I'm a Sheikh, I have the hell to judge you, man. What are you going to do, sue me? So, it is.
I want to get content out of him, that's what it is.
So what he's basically saying here is that we don't do politics, we don't do political messaging and so on in public in Saudi Arabia. That's basically what it is. Don't think that you can just go to Saudi Arabia and do whatever you want. You have free speech in the West. You don't have free speech in other countries like that. They don't want you to do any political messaging at all. Even if you do political messaging in favor of Saudi Arabia, or even if you do political messaging in favor of Islam, you're not supposed to do it. You're in no position as a regular person to just put a political message on you. Who the hell are you? That's basically how Saudi Arabia views you. That's how the oil-rich countries and how the monarchies generally view you. You are just a citizen. You are a visitor. You are a resident. You're just some guy. How dare you make a suggestion about politics? You are not in charge of politics.
Yeah, and how many universities there in Saudi Arabia and these other places do you think you have students taking over the place, screaming "Free Palestine" and so on? Zero. They don't let you. Isn't that interesting? So you got everyone complaining. Oh, we're being silenced over here. You can't say a word over there, guys. You can't say a word.
Yep. You see.
I don't judge people.
I like how you picked me for heaven, though. I appreciate that.
You do and say according to the result and the consequence of what they do and say. Meaning, if I'm going to do or say something that has bad repercussion and make things far worse, Islam tells me stop. I'll give you an example.
I love this example. I saw this clip. I love this one.
In a crystal clear ayah.
Crystal clear. Hold up. Crystal clear. Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawah and all you other guys who do the exact opposite. And we've been telling you for years that you are violating the Quran and you can't stop at all. And Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem is actually just calling you clowns out right now.
Mm-hmm. Crystal clear. Let's have it. David apparently loves this.
Clear ayah. Do not insult the idols that they worship. Come on. Insulting the idols is a good thing because it's false. It doesn't have anything to do. But why? Allah says, do not insult the idols they worship, so they would not insult Allah unjustly.
Aha. Mm-hmm. David, what Quran verse is this?
That's Surah 6, verse 108. Hang on, let me pull it up here. 108. Yep, there we go.
So, here is the Quran verse that Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem is talking about. And do not insult those they invoke other than Allah, lest they insult Allah in enmity without knowledge. Thus we have made pleasing to every community their deeds, and so on. So the verse is an instruction that we have brought up very, very often in the past. Whenever these Islamists went out, get out of their way to insult us, to insult our religious beliefs, to insult our loved ones, and so on, we said, hey, if you do this, you will get repercussions, and we will insult your Quran, we will insult your prophet, we will insult your religion, and so on. You are not supposed to do this. The Quran itself warns you not to do this. Otherwise, you will get repercussions for this. You have to deal with it then. And these Muslims don't get it.
No, they don't care. They don't care at all. And to be clear, guys, this is a response. This is a response to an issue that had arisen. Muslims, for years after they started believing in Islam, went around insulting the gods of the polytheists of Mecca. They're constantly insulting them. The polytheists didn't want to insult Allah in return because they also believed in Allah, right? They believed in Allah as one of their gods. So they didn't want to insult Allah in return. So you've got the Muslims who, for years, are insulting the gods of the pagans and the gods of the polytheists. They're actually trying to negotiate. Can we just get you guys to stop? Can we just get you guys to stop with the insults? And the Muslims won't stop insulting. Finally, they get fed up with it and they say, if you continue to insult our gods, then we're going to start insulting Allah and making fun of Allah. And then this is Allah's response. Notice Allah had zero problem with it as long as they were just mocking the gods of the pagans and the pagans weren't mocking back. But as soon as the pagans said, if you keep doing this, we're going to mock your your God in return, then the rule came down. Okay, stop with the insults, guys. Just stop now with the insults. And what's the takeaway? Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem is breaking it down. Don't do something that's going to cause people to insult your religion in return. And the reason I find that is amazing is every popular da'i, every popular dawah-gandist on the planet right now can't stop insulting everyone else and bringing more insults on their religion. They can't stop. They don't care. And you're sitting. He's calling them out right now. It's awesome.
Yeah, my problem with this is very much that simply abstaining from insulting other people's religious beliefs and insulting other people's, gods and religion and so on is not enough. The problem here is that while the Quran says something like this, and while the Quran at some point says, "Oh, please don't insult them, otherwise they will insult Allah," the problem is that Islam itself is already too much of an insult to everybody else.
It's an
the
insult
Quran
to our
itself.
intelligence.
It is, and the Quran itself also directly insults and ridicules and threatens other religious groups, including Jews and Christians and polytheists and others, directly insults what they believe in. And also, much more than that, orders to kill. So the Islam orders to kill those who leave the religion. As somebody who has left the religion of Islam, I am under constant threat and under a constant death sentence. So if you want people to abstain from insulting your religious beliefs, you should probably denounce Islam or get rid of all of those laws and those words in Islam. Islam is already a threat and an insult to everybody else, so it deserves to be insulted back.
Yeah, so kind of two things are. One, we're going to insult your religion anyway, right? Based on what AP just said. So no matter what you do, we're going to insult your religion because it calls for our violent subjugation, calls for the subjugation of the world, tells you to beat women into submission and bang little kids and so on. All this stuff, we're going to insult your religion anyway. However, I should point out, we can always insult more, right? Matter of fact, that's what happened. When hijab came up with a brilliant plan, I will start insulting all their wives and threatening their wives with rape and torture. That is what I will do. That's when all this ripping up the Quran and eating the Quran stuff started, right? So the point is, yes, we're going to insult your prophet because he deserves to be insulted. He's the most obvious false prophet in history. He said horrible things, and he said horrible things about us long before we ever spoke about him. He already broke the he insulted us and called us the worst of creatures. He denounces our religion and so on. And therefore, he brought all this on himself, according to the logic of the passage anyway. So he can't stop that. You can cause people to escalate with your behavior. And so you can cause people to insult and denigrate your religion more by your behavior. And what's amazing is, again, the Muhammad hijabs and Ali Dawahs and so on, they're doing exactly what they're commanded not to do. They're causing other people to dial up the mockery of Islam. And we thank them for that, but we also thank Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem for pointing out that they are violating the commands of Allah. And According to Sheikh Assim Al Hakeem, if you disagree with Allah and Muhammad about anything, you're not a Muslim, you're a kafir. He's about to say it. And therefore, if Muhammad Hijab's looking and saying, we can't insult him, but we will insult him anyway because we can't stop, you're not even a Muslim, dude. You're a kafir.
Yeah, Muslim.
The consequence is what?
All of it?
Is far dire and serious.
Good question.
Though insulting the idols is good, but if it's going to cause them insulting Islam and insulting Allah, refrain.
See, insulting their idols is actually good.
Yep.
We just don't do it because we don't want them to also insult back our religion.
He's saying exactly what the commentaries say, that the Muslims were doing it. Why? Because it's good. But if they're going to insult you in return, then it's bad because you're causing people to insult Islam. So it's not that they don't do it because it's wrong to insult other people's religions. It's that it's bad if it's going to cause insult towards Islam, which is why when the Muslims were later in positions where they could insult and not face repercussions, then they did it. So when that polytheist comes to Muhammad and says, because Muhammad's attacking Mecca, when he comes to Muhammad and says, hey, look, man, there are only two possibilities here. Either you conquer your own people, in which case you go down in history as a guy who conquered his own people, or you lose, and all these guys are going to leave you if you lose fighting your own people. So either way, it's not a good situation here. That's when Abu Bakr says, why don't you go suck Allah's clitoris? That's what he says. So he says, go perform oral sex on your goddess. So wait, why is Abu Bakr doing that there long after Surah 6 verse 108 was revealed? Because this guy's a messenger surrounded by Muslims. He's not going to say a word. This guy's not going to say a word about Allah or insult Allah right there. They would kill him. So when they're in a position where they can insult, then they do it. And like in the most graphic manner, guys saying, hey, go perform oral sex on your goddess would be like me saying, why don't you go suck off Allah? Why don't you do that? Right? That's what, and if you said that to a Muslim, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're so intolerant. You're such a bigot. You're such an Islamophobe. This is Abu Bakr, the commander of the faithful, saying this, right? So this is Muhammad's closest companion, the first of the rightly guided caliphs. So he did that. And then what does Muhammad do? When Muhammad conquers Mecca, what's he do? He goes around stabbing the eyes of their idols and so on. These people worship these things. Muhammad's going around poking them in the eyes. And then later getting poked by Dihi al-Kalbi, but that's a different issue. But he's getting poked, he's poking the pagan idols in the eyes. So what's he doing? They've been subjugated. So the actual takeaway is while people are in a position to retaliate with criticism and insults and mockery, refrain from criticism and insults and mockery. But once you get power over them and can silence them, then just relentlessly mock and insult everything they believe in.